we've got a tree here. I've shown you guys a few like this. It's kind of like it's squished. See what I mean? Yeah, it's a 6-inch diameter balsam. I don't know. How do they get squished like that? I don't know. I won't be happy with audio proof, guys, and we have lots of audio proof. I have already heard the scariest woman being murdered screaming that you can hear being out in the woods, right? I cannot envision anything scarier than what I heard. Okay, and if that can't make me a believer that there's an unknown cryptid 100% for sure out there, then I don't know what will, other than seeing it. So for me, that's what I'm after, guys. I am after the visual aspect of Bigfoot. I'm thinking episode 200, we're going up to Brian's camp and we're just gonna camp out in a tent. Whether it's just me or my buddy Phil with me, I don't know. I think that's where it's gonna end. If I get eaten, I get eaten, but I'm gonna face that fear. I have never camped out there, out of the cabin, in 20 some years since my incident up there. No friggin' way would I ever do that, but I think that's what it's coming to. I won't have access to the cabin. There's a whole story there. It's personal. We're not going to get into it. Brian doesn't have the camp anymore. His son has the camp, so I'm still welcome up there. I can still go up there, but to get the keys and to get in is another issue, so I'll probably just grab a tent. And the 200th episode is going to be a good one. We're getting close. There was a couple of days that I would come out in the evening and just do some knocking, which I don't normally do, for good reason, because I don't want everyone knocking back. You know, neighbors hear that, who knows? It's just encouraging people to respond is one way I look at it. And I just want to capture natural things as they occur. But after we did that, there was a whole lot of screaming and noise in here one night that we went out and recorded. And there were other things that I've heard in the backyard while working, cleaning up, or just relaxing on the deck that I didn't record and can't explain. And today is like another one of those instances where I heard somebody yelling back here. That's all I can describe it as. It sounded like words. I couldn't make out what the words were, and a woman's voice. Does that have anything to do with, you know, me doing knocking and did we stir something up? I don't know. I've stopped here because I just want to show you guys this big pile of sticks behind me. I find this looks a little suspicious. I'll take you guys off the tripod and we'll take a closer look. So I don't know why, but there's a whole bunch of stuff here that's all piled up right here. This is actually upside down. That's the bottom end of a big log right there. All this stuff is piled right here. And then in behind it, there's a whole bunch more that are stacked in here. Right here. I don't know, it just seems odd to me. Look at this. As we look closer here, look at this stick looped over. Look at, huh. So this is like woven, it's held in behind here. There's a stick that goes straight down, and then the top is looped over. Huh. I know there's a lot of natural chaos in here, but this spot right here is just, it's caught my eye. I don't know. take a look at this. Here's the one that I just moved that was looped over. You know, and the one beside it, look at. The end of that is like, so this is a stick from beside. And then what do we have right here? What is this? I guess that's just resting on top of. Just seems weird to me, guys. You know, that's lying there, then, you know, I mean, this is leaned against a tree right here. And then we got all the top of this tree. I don't know. Kind of interesting, but I mean, I'm really hoping to hear something is what I'm out here for right now. I mean, it's chaotic all through here, right? So well, before we go any further then, let's just try a couple of knocks. I don't know. Yeah. I wasn't happy with the sound of that. We're gonna go up here into the pines and I'm gonna find a nice big pine and we'll beat on that. All right, let's try this again. That was good and loud. And actually, guys, we're only 50 meters from where I recorded that screaming, right here on the trail. So that's a great spot to whack those trees. That brings up a good point, actually, okay? The first noise that we created down there on the balsam with a mediocre stick was crappy, okay? I had to look for a nice, solid, dried out spruce to whack on a really big pine to make a nice knocking sound like we record here all the time. Something I've never really thought about. You need the ideal stick and the ideal tree to create those knocking sounds that we get. And when I hit a tree like that, I leave marks in the bark. Let's take a look at that actually. Can you see that? Right there. There and there. That's where we were just hitting that tree and it did leave a mark. Took some bark off. Very subtle, but there are marks in the tree. I think we're gonna have to start looking at trees a little closer in the areas where we hear this knocking and see if we can find some spots like that where there's freshly damaged bark. And I think it's these bigger trees that are needed to create that nice hollow thud. The small ones just, they don't do the same sound. I know the bugs are getting you, come here. Get rid of some of those deer flies, eh? Kind of a gray, stormy day today. It's been raining all morning and the deer flies are just horrible right now. Mosquitoes too, but definitely not out of bug season yet. I was hoping we were, but probably right in the middle of it, if we're honest. Wishful thinking on my part, I think. So we'll also address one more thing on this channel. As you guys know from the beginning, I've always said scientific proof, right? I am a man of science. I have a BSc, 2 college diplomas. If it's not science, it has no firm ground to stand on in my mind, right? I'm not saying that things aren't real because it hasn't been proven in science. I'm just saying it's not proven. Right? I know these orbs, 100% guys, I can tell you that these floating orbs through the forest, that's a real phenomenon. What is it? I don't know. Has it been proven by science to be something? No, it hasn't. It's real. However, Bigfoot is a cryptid. It has not been proven to science. Okay, so on this channel, you are only going to get that firm belief that until something is accepted by science, peer-reviewed, repeatable, you know, all these things that science constitutes, a carcass, DNA sampling from said carcass. Don't even get me started on the DNA, guys. There has never been DNA sampled from a Sasquatch, a Bigfoot, hairy man, anything, okay? That's why they're a cryptid. It is not classified as its own hominid, right? Its own species. To the best of my knowledge, there are no Bigfoot in any of my videos, right? We have not captured evidence that says, this is here, Gary is now 100% a firm believer that this exists. In fact, the opposite. We've heard a lot of howling, a lot of yelling, knocking. Yeah, I get all of that stuff. So do a lot of other channels. What we don't get here, and I'm very proud of the fact, is you don't see Sasquatch in every second video. There's not a face here in this bush. And there isn't a family troop living here under this tree. It's frustrating to me, these channels, right? You start making a bit of money on this, and the next thing you know, every week they're seeing something, they're producing something, and they have to. Once you start producing that, you can't go back, right? Who wants to watch? You already showed me something, and now in the next 6 episodes you don't? So you have to be very mindful of that as viewers, right guys? And if it's a picture of a brush line and you see 2 eyes in there, it's pareidolia, guys. Your mind is saying that looks like it could be a face. There's no face there. Get me a high resolution photo of a face. Then there'll be a face there. Get me some high 4K res video of one of these things crossing a swamp or a field. Then I'll agree it's there. The stick just broke over there when I said that. See? I get audio. I don't get anything substantial. And that's fine. I'm fine with that. I'm into real. I understand there are things that occur and happen out here. Light flashes and orbs. Absolutely, guys. I've seen it. I know it's here. I know it exists. I don't know what it is. And you shouldn't take my word for it that it exists. Go out camping 1,000 times. You'll probably see it too. Right? Up here in Northern Ontario, I know it's up here. And you go on YouTube, there's videos from all over the world. So this thing exists, okay? That is something we have, I would say, very good video proof of. Okay, and I've seen it with my own eyes. I guess what I'm saying is don't trust me. Don't trust anyone. But if you're going to trust somebody, trust me more, because I'm not showing you stuff every week. If it was so easy that we could go out and get video and photos every week, these would be a documented species. I'm not saying anything new, guys. Gary is not interested in the fantasy of Bigfoot. Okay, I want to know, is it real? It doesn't even have to be real as in flesh and blood real. It can be real, ethereal, where it's here, disappears, comes back, whatever. If you can video that, if you can prove to me that that exists, and we get good, clear footage, I'll accept that it has powers that I don't think it should. But until that point, to me, if it is real, I've always said from episode 1 until right now, it is a flesh and blood creature. End of Gary's story, right? That's what I'm out here looking for. Is it here? I don't know. How much longer are we gonna look? I don't know.